What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Bugs' DCS Cruise. For this one, I wanted to show you what I was up to for the last couple of days, and that's putting together and setting up the new next level racing Boeing Simpit. So there are a few things I'm going to touch on with this, including future plans and whatnot, the overall assembly, the process of it, and the overall feel of it. So, without any further ado, let's check it out. So, as far as the construction of the Simpit, I'm going to show you guys. It's all metal, and it's extremely solid. It comes like a giant erector set, I'm not going to lie to you guys. So if you like putting stuff together, it's right up your alley. If you don't, you're going to need help from somebody that likes doing this kind of stuff. As far as configuring it, I'm going to touch on as I show you the controls, because there are endless possibilities for it, and they include several brackets to make whatever you need to mount possible for you. So I'm going to give you guys a nice little overview of it. Don't mind a little bit of clutter around. My desk is a mess, but that's the life of doing what I do for you guys. So let's start from our left side. So we have our two throttle quadrants from Logitech here, and then we have our Thrustmaster quadrant here. I'm going to touch more on that later, as well as some of the wiring which you guys are going to see, so I'll dive into that a little bit more. We got our TPR rudders down there, those bolted right on. We have our DDIs, and we also have a new addition to the Simpit, and those are the multi-function panel or multi-switch panel, whatever you guys call it, from the Cytec Logitech end of it. I use that religiously with Microsoft Flight Sim when I flew that daily, but I am going to get that to work with the CS BIOS, so that's a work in progress right now, as well as the two glass gauges next to it. So that's going to be interesting. I can't wait to get those up and running. They're going to be very helpful, I have a feeling. We have the verbal throttle, joystick base, the Warbird D base. Don't mind the clamp on it. I will touch on that shortly, but I am running it back again with the extension, which was not easy to get done, but I did manage to get it to work, and it works very well. Then we have our mouse pad over here with our keyboard stand attached to it, and our extra batteries for our headset. We also do have the nice straps for it. This platform is motion ready, so the straps will come in handy, because I do plan on putting this on a motion base down the road. I'm going to touch on that when I go over some of the controls in a couple of minutes with you guys. The seat pad is extremely nice. It is very thick. I'll see if I can get it down here for you guys. Let me just grab a light so you guys can see a little bit better. It's much thicker than the other one was, and that's part of the reason why I canceled the Virpil order, was to get this, because my back was starting to really bother me. So I don't know how well this is going to work out, guys. Actually, you know what I can do? I'll one-up you. I'm going to pull the seat pan off, because it's easy enough to do. So I'm going to move the Tomcat stick out of the way. let's pull this up. So that's the thickness of our seat pad. Not bad at all. Much better than what my old setup used to be. While I'm putting this back down, the TPR rudders, they came with brackets to bolt those right too, so that worked out beautifully. I have no complaints about that. They're rock solid, as well as the joystick base. I'm going to touch on that in a second because that took a little bit of figuring out to do. The mouse pad, you guys can move around pretty much any position here that you want on any of these holes, and you can also move it up and down. You can tilt it however you guys want. The setup adjustability on this is infinite, so whatever you guys want to do, whatever suits your setup, it will do that for you. And what's also nice about this is I can move the mouse pad out of the way, and I can put the joystick base for a side mount to fly the Viper for that kind of experience. The same thing goes with the throttle quadrant. The same kind of setup. You can move it up and down, angle it, and you guys can vaguely kind of see, I'm sorry about the lighting, the holes right there. You can move it left and right as well. These were a little bit of a challenge to get mounted, but it does work and it's comfortable. It's not jabbing you in the side when you're trying to fly. So with this setup, you do get 3 different brackets like this. They're powder coated in the olive drab color, which is awesome. So you get 2 angled ones, which is what I have the throttle mounted on, and the second one is the mouse pad. Here's a little bit of a better shot at them. That's what they look like. So they're all powder coated the same. So you have 2 angled ones and 1 straight one. So the 2 angled ones, this is one of them. The mouse pad's the other one. This is the straight one here. So this does work. Like I said, it was a little bit of figuring, but I have my collective setup here and my warbird quadrant here. I'm going to touch on future controls in a moment. Let me show you guys this one here and why I have the clamp on it and whatnot. So there are options out there if you guys do want to get a 3D printed bracket to mount the joystick base with an extension. I made this work with what came with the kit. So there's a universal support bracket that I put on, and it bolted right to the HOTAS plate. The only thing I had to add to it that I had to make myself was a 1 1/8 by 1 1/8 wooden spacer that's a square with the hole that can fit the bolt through it, and you add a few of the extra washers that they give you in the kit, and it's no problem. I have the clamp on there for now because I do plan on getting a force feedback setup, so I'm going to touch on that shortly. But for now, it works, it's solid, and it's comfortable with the Virpil 200mm extension on it. So I can't complain about that one. Again, the overall quality and the construction of it is very nice. It could take you about 2 days to put together after the assembly of the frame itself, mounting your controls, running the different wires for everything, and then adjusting it to where you're comfortable with it. It's about a 2-day process. So plan on that if you guys do want to pick one of these up. It's highly recommended. They give you different mounts. They give you specific ones for VKB controls. They give you the universal ones for Virpil, Thrustmaster, Wing, etc. And the biggest one that I'm looking at right now is Moza. So what my plan is for you guys, and what I want to do is, I'm looking at getting the Moza AB9 force feedback base, and I believe it's called the MTP throttle, the haptic feedback throttle with the control panel extension. So I'm going to use that control panel off the throttle in conjunction with the one up here, and that should save a little bit of space to make everything nice. Once I do that, that should open things up a little bit for a little bit more immersion and realism, which is what I'm looking for. And then what I want to do also is I'm going to replace the collective quadrant that I have here, and I'm still going to go with the Virpil Rotor Plus with the Blackhawk grip on it. That's not going to change. I'm looking forward to that. Unfortunately, the Virpil back order situation is out of anybody's control, but once it does come back into stock, that's what's going to happen with that one. And what's also nice is the seat is, like I mentioned earlier, motion capable and ready, and it also does come with an included butt kicker mount. So I do plan on getting one of those for the seat, and later on down the road, when things play out the right way, I do plan on putting this thing on a motion platform. I did have a chance to fly with a haptic feedback vest on and haptic feedback wristbands, and I do have to say it was definitely a different experience. It's much more immersive, so that coupled with what I plan on doing with the Simpit, I could just imagine how crazy that's going to be. I look forward to the day that that all comes together and happens, but until then, I'm going to do what I have to do in order to make it happen. I really hope you guys found this helpful. If you guys are looking at getting the next level racing Boeing Simpit, it's highly recommended. It's going to set you back about $800, but it is well worth every penny that you pay for it. The comfort is there, the flexibility is there. You can also mount a steering wheel on it if you want to go into a racing sim. You can mount the yoke on it if you want to fly, say, something like a C-130 or an Airbus or a wide body or something like that. The possibilities are endless. And before I forget, the other thing I'm going to add on to it is the ejection handle that's going to come from Total Controls. I'm looking forward to that, so I get my cockpit back up the way it was 100%. And what's nice about that is it bolts right on to where the joystick bolts are. So it is going to be literally a 3-minute installation to bolt it in, plug it in, configure it, and then go. So I'm really looking forward to this. The flexibility of this is amazing, like I said. I really hope you guys enjoyed that. I really hope you found it helpful. If you have any questions on how it went together or any of the assembly, please leave a comment. Let me know. I will answer it for you. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe for more, and until the next sortie, strap in, arm up the seat, and keep flying.